a movie, it's so wonderful because it speaks to everybody. So
Right.
really breaks down the walls. So.
And it's just that first connection. It's that. Hey, welcome to the third episode of Kidmin Tackle Box, the podcast for children's ministry leaders. And today I have a very good friend of mine, John Geiszler, Pastor John Geiszler from New Life Church. And we are going to be talking about outrageous outreach and how you can reach the kids and families around your neighborhood. And John is in charge of that here at New Life. And so, John, would you want to introduce yourself? Or?
Yeah, I'm John, Hubba Bubba John. They call me here in Kids Trek. And we have Hubba Bubba Sundays every month.
Hubba Bubba, a whole new kind of bubble.
It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun.
But let's see, I've been a Christian since 1981, and I gave my heart to the Lord here at this church, New Life Church here in Everett, and been on staff for probably 25-ish years here, and then 10 years out and about, and been working specifically with children's ministry the last 10 years or so. And then I've been back at New Life for about the last 7 years. So loving it.
Right.
Yeah.
And you are the children's outreach pastor here.
Yes. And then I work with the children as well in the curriculum and all that too. So.
Right. And he's also responsible for all the amazing decor and everything. And if we spun the cameras around, you'd see the tomb and the rock and everything, because we're getting ready for Easter, which is this Sunday. But your main job is outreach. And
yes.
So explain to us what you're doing in that and what kind of things that you do for that. For instance, with the theater, you do the Madison Avenue Theater.
Yes.
And, tell us about that, first of all.
Okay. Well, the theater I've been doing for 12 years, and I just have a passion for it because it does so many wonderful things. And we built it up where it's sustainable. So we do it every Friday. I did it up in Marysville at another church for the first 5 years, and we did it on a Saturday. But I have a good team in place. We just basically show a movie, a Disney movie or something. I have to go through them. In more modern Disney movies, you got to really be careful. But I have 4 things that I really look out for in a movie. One is violence.
Right.
One is, swearing. One is sexual innuendos, and one is like cults or religious stuff that's just weird, you know. But most of the family-friendly movies have a good message.
Yeah.
And it's actually a biblical message. It's just one little nugget, and it's just packaged in a non-biblical way. So you get these families that come to a movie, and you have popcorn. We just had a big event, and we went 650 bags of popcorn. I was making popcorn all day.
Wow.
And another guy, but it was wonderful. And then you got to clean up the popcorn. There are some challenges with a movie night, but it's so wonderful because people are open to movies. It's the language that our American community speaks, and that's entertainment.
Yeah.
And movies, they spend $200 million on a movie.
Well,
and so we get the licensing they have to pay for the licensing. We show the movie for free, and it's already made for us,
Right.
And it takes some money and some hard work to make it all happen. But once you get it up and running and get your team together, it's just wonderful, and we get new people all the time. We have incentives for especially the children, where our focus group is elementary age kids.
Right.
And we've stayed with that focus. Well, now after COVID, we do 2 showings. We used to do 1 showing, and now we do 2 showings. So we do the first showing at 5:30, and we gear it for the younger kids, and it is that focus group. Now, the 7:30 movie is we're gearing now a little more for the older group, even adults, and because they can stay up later and whatnot. So we do kind of a little older movie, like we're gonna do Rocky. We're gonna go back,
Oh, that's gonna be
do some
fun.
nostalgia, and we'll go through all the Rocky movies, and we'll do it about every other month, and
Right.
some Star Wars.
And you're doing The Chosen.
We do The Chosen every other week when that's out, and so. Yeah, we do some spiritual ones, but we mainly do just kind of secular, fun, kids movies. That's our target audience.
And so the reason for that is that it's something that they want to see, and you're bringing them into the church, and they get kind of just a taste of hey, it's not really that weird in here, or
Yeah,
it's not
exactly.
bad, or whatever.
Yeah, it goes with that process of evangelism and these steps. So that first, actually, it's the second step in my. I'll kind of tell you the steps. The first step I see in outreach for a church is to go out into the public,
Right.
and serve them in some way, in a non-religious way. Just serve them in their place, groundwork at a school or whatever, painting or whatever the case may be, just practically serve. A second step would be our theater, where they come to our church, and again, it's not necessarily spiritual, although it is pretty powerful, because they're coming into the church setting, they're seeing us, we are representatives of Jesus, we are his hands and feet, and we just try to be really happy, which is easy to do when you're selling popcorn and
Right.
giving away prizes and all kinds of stuff. It's a lot of fun. We have superheroes show up. Actually, it's one guy that he dresses up as a different superhero. I don't know that the younger kids have gotten a hold of that, but the adults, they just crack up, you know.
Yeah,
Chris, he's
pretty special.
faithful, and he loves it. He gets into character, let me tell you.
Yeah.
But that's kind of a second step. A third step would be where and we do that at the theater, where we show a spiritual movie, like
Right.
The Chosen, or we're going to show Jesus Revolution coming up at 7:30. So that would be step 3, where they're getting some spiritual input. Step 4 would be kind of like we've done Rooted here at New Life, and then in the past we've done the Alpha course. And that's where they can come and ask questions and dialogue, and they're not necessarily a believer yet. But they're being able to dialogue about spiritual things. And then step 5 would be like kids' church or something like that.
Yeah.
And they're actually coming to church or the service. And then step 6 would be where they're going into a small group and they're getting mature in their faith and discipled and strengthened. And then step 7 would be going back out to reaching the public,
Right.
being sent out. So kind of a 7-stage outreach philosophy that I've built over the years.
And so the theater is that step where they're
That's step 2. Yeah,
step
that's
2, just
where
coming
they
in.
come in, and our whole goal is that they have a great time, fun time, and we honor them with that's a big value that we have, is honor. We want to honor them with a quality experience, a fun experience, and we value generosity, and we give them a popcorn card if it's their first time for
Right.
5 free popcorns. And if they bring a friend, they get 2 free concession items and extra raffle tickets, because everybody that comes gets a raffle ticket, because we do a raffle. And I just counted the other day. We've been doing this 12 years, but we've been given about $100,000 worth of toys and prizes over the years. Yeah.
Wow.
Just Funko has given us stuff, and we got these like $10,000 worth of slime kits, and Funko gave us about $10,000 worth of little plushy things that were really cool. And so it's like God has opened those doors, to just bless the people when they come. And so they have a great experience, because they're winning prizes, they're getting cheap concessions, the movie's free. And the reason I started the movie theater specifically, because I have 4 children, and when I used to take, this is 10 years ago when I took them to the movies, like Narnia and different things. And it was a fun, family shared experience. It was actually an essential family shared experience. I see it as an essential for families to be together, have a fun time together, but it cost us $100, and that's without concessions.
Right.
So that's the main reason I started the theater, is because families can come for free. They can get concessions. Our concessions are mainly $1.
Popcorn for
50 cents, and of course they get their free popcorn to 5 free, which they love. And we're generous. Because a lot of them come with a credit card, and we do cash only, so we just give them extra. Hey, if you can pay the next time, great. If not, no problem. It's on the house. And so we're real generous because that's a value that we have, generosity and quality. I want it to be quality, and we have our superhero, Chris, and he interacts with the kids, and they get photos with them and stuff like that. And then our theater itself is a quality. Well, I got theater seats. There's quite a story behind that, but we won't go into that today.
It is actually, you feel like you're in a theater.
Yeah.
And it's in the balcony of the worship center.
Yeah.
You have a nice screen that comes down out
Yeah,
of
we
the
have
ceiling.
a screen that's on a hoist, so it folds up, for the services. And then I got curtains,
Right.
and put them on rails, and we can bring those out. And people come in that room, and they've been at New Life for 20 years, and they're like, where was this room at? It's like, oh, you're in the balcony.
Yeah.
So, and I do side lighting, theater lighting, and I have party lights above that fade out like a real theater. And I really try to make it like an authentic experience. So they go I try to make it actually better than the theaters. And
you go into a theater, you're not getting a ticket
not
for a raffle.
Yeah. And you know how that came about when I was a kid, and it probably happened only one time, but they had a drawing at the theater. I was probably 5 years old. I thought that was the coolest thing, that I could win a bike or something.
Right.
And of course, there was no chance, but it stuck with me. It's like having a raffle, fun. And then, of course, we're getting all these prizes. And some of these prizes are worth $50, $100, you know? So it's pretty legitimate. Of course, the kids will go to the box of candy, theater candy, for $1.
Yeah.
It's quite hilarious in that regard. So
that's the theater, but that's not the only thing that you do for outreach.
Yeah, what we've done, a couple things that have kind of come off of the theater is one is our family fun night,
right?
And we do that about every other month, and that we're blessed here at New Life. We have these inflatables, and they're pretty cool. And so we pull those out, big slide and an obstacle course and a bouncy house. And then I got this, they call it the Zorb ball. It's like a hamster ball.
Right.
And I got it for $200 because it's like a $1,500 item, but I got it for $200 because it had a bunch of holes in it. So, because the guy's daughter did this ball over gravel, but I'm like, I can patch that up and fix it. Well, it's been kind of ongoing.
You do kind of
somewhat works, but we got to keep it
pumped
up.
Yeah.
But the kids love it. It's their favorite thing, and it's hard to manage. And usually when I get somebody to do it once, they won't do it again because it's a lot of work for the helper, Yeah. But we do that, and I made a bunch of games, actually. I'm kind of a craftsman, and I like to do that. But I made a Plinko game, and there's a shooting target game, and hockey and basketball, and just kind of try to utilize some fun games that kids love.
Right.
And then we give them a little piece of candy sometimes as an incentive to do that. So, and one thing that we just started after 3 years is our rock climbing wall that was built like 20 years ago. one of our youth pastors had a vision for this rock climbing wall, got it done, and it has been not utilized like it should
Right.
be. And because of COVID and all that, but we finally got that back up and running, and that was wonderful.
We have belayers for that.
Yeah, we
and
got
trained
specially
people.
trained people to belay and work that. So that was a big win. And then we also do a dinner, and it's usually a $2 dinner. And we don't do that on theater nights. We have a lot of snacks, but we don't do a dinner. And we did a hot dog dinner where it's a hot dog, chips, cookie, and water for $2.
Right.
And we'll probably do like pizza next time. And we try to have special, trying to utilize food
Right.
as a draw, you know?
Sure.
So I'm really big on utilizing the senses, you know, smells, taste, visual, touch, and the theater helps do all that.
Yeah.
And then the family fun night with all the games and stuff. So we just had 500 people. It was wonderful. They were all
Yeah.
spread out wonderfully, and theater was full 2 times, and
Well, and
really
the
worked
thing,
good. So
one thing with the theater is that you do is you have a pre-roll. Before the movie, you have slides
Yeah.
going through and ads. There's a promo that we did for the kids, for Kids Trek
Mm-hmm.
that plays. And so they're being exposed to other things that are happening in the church.
Yeah.
You invited them to Easter coming up.
Yep.
And the fact that there's not a Friday night theater this Friday night because, hey, we're going to be doing Good Friday services, and so you could come to that, you know.
Yeah.
So you,
That's exactly what we did. Brett here is the one that put the video together. It's fabulous. And I've seen it probably now 30 times, and I still don't get tired of it because the music's really good. The kids, it shows what we do on Sundays, and the kids are playing these games, and it's just really interactive. It's really professional. It's really well done. So, and he's got a new one, and we'll change it out probably every quarter. But it's great because people really pay attention because it's basically before the movie, it's like a PowerPoint presentation, just a slide that goes up, then it fades out, and it's really good. But Brett added the video, and it kicks in, and everybody pays attention, and it's got music, and it's wonderful. So that's kind of how we subtly encourage them to come to church. Now, when I started the theater, that was really something I felt from the Lord not to go heavy on that.
right.
Because a non-Christian, their big step is just coming to the theater or coming to church. So they're going to expect that they're going to try to twist my arm and
Sure.
get me to give money or come to their church or whatever the case. Well, we want to do just the opposite. And that's what I felt the Lord was saying. So we don't plug the church very much. And we, instead of taking their money, we give
Yeah.
stuff. We used to do free popcorn to everybody. Did that for 5 years, and we gave away so much popcorn. And then it was like, so much work making all that popcorn. We're going to give them free popcorn for the first 5, and then they start giving back by buying the concessions. The concessions actually help us to keep the theater going because there are some expenses. But so it's wonderful. And one thing I wanted to mention, besides the family fun nights, another thing that has kind of dovetailed off of the theater is birthday parties.
Birthday parties, yeah.
Yes.
Just started those.
And, well, actually, we've been doing them for quite a while, but COVID shut them down.
Oh, okay.
And
So we're just coming back.
yeah. So we did 2. It was 2 sisters that had birthday, and we did 2 just on the night of the family fun night.
Right.
And that's a great time to do a birthday because they
Oh, yeah.
get to take advantage of all the things, and it costs them like $50 for the room, and then we honor them at the theater with we sing happy birthday, and we have them come down front, and then they get to go pick a prize, any prize they want. So again, it goes with that value of honoring families and children and generosity and just giving, and some of the kids say, that was the best birthday party I ever had. It's really simple for us. So
Right.
that's been a huge win as well. And that's an outreach because the children are going to invite
Their friends. Yeah.
and classmates, and they can invite as many as they want. It's
Right.
not like where, you go out to different places and they charge extra per kid. It's like, hey, bring as many as you can.
Now, we're also doing characters, too,
Yeah.
with that, right?
Yeah, we got a lot of costumes that we built up over the years here at New Life, and princess costumes and superhero costumes, and so a bear costume and a moose costume and a kind of made a Seahawk costume. So we got all these costumes, and we usually utilize them at the theater, but we're going to use them for birthday parties as well. So yeah, it's a big.
And birthday
Big win.
birthday parties are something that any church could do.
Any church can do.
The family fun nights are something any church can do, any size church. And actually, the theater's not out of reach for most churches
No.
either.
You know what I would encourage in the theater? The couple key things. You have to pay for the licensing for the
Yeah.
movies.
Right.
Most churches,
that's-
that's going to be $200 or $300
A year.
a year.
Yeah.
And then you got to buy the disc or borrow it.
Right.
Blu-ray disc is, I want high quality, so that's what I go by. I don't do streaming very much. Always run into challenges. Really try to stay with the Blu-ray disc. It's been the steady.
Because you don't want
steady.
mistakes.
Don't
then.
want mistakes. You got all these people, even though it's free, you got all people coming, traveling, sometimes 5-10 miles, and they've given up their evening, and then you can't show the movie because I have had issues over the years.
Sure.
Had to send people home, and that's the worst thing.
It's
the worst.
Yeah,
thing.
it's a terrible feeling.
But I've been doing this long enough where I know how many movies. I got a bunch of, so I start buying my movies, so I don't have issues. 'Cause I
Right.
used to rent them or borrow them, but
Oh, and then you don't know what you're getting.
don't know what
or
you're
rented,
getting,
or
and
from the
those are the-
library
those
or
are the
something
ones
like that.
we-
Yeah.
But if you're starting off, that's what you might do to
Sure.
to make cost effective. And you don't need theater seats, but I would encourage if you do it to do a little bit of staging,
Yeah.
different levels to make it a little bit like a theater. Maybe get some like here we got some little party lights, really cheap. And if you can fade them out, that would be cool. Try to get a pretty good size screen, even like 8 by 12. If you could do something, you could use bed sheets. You could use a
Right.
wall, actually, if you had a white wall.
Well, and a lot of churches have like the trade show curtains and stuff
Yeah.
like that can be used. But I'll tell you what, all of that is great, and what you've built back there is great. But I can tell you from seeing this that the big thing is that John is welcoming them to a movie. And you're up front, you're exciting. He has this showman thing going on with the raffle tickets and everything. And you really make it exciting, and you really make it something that's worth coming to. To them, you're the face of the church.
Yeah. It's true. And I'm passionate about it for one, and it is a calling. And I really try to make it a goal to have a fun time, laughter, but I really try to be relational.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to meet people right sometimes I go down, we have a ticket booth when they first come in where we give them a ticket. They don't have to buy a ticket. We give them a
Right.
ticket for the raffle. I try to meet people, find out the new people, because we're getting like 25 new people every week.
Wow.
25.
I did not realize
Yeah,
that.
25. We average about 25. Our family fun night, we probably had 100 new people. And so many new people. So I try to meet them personally, welcome them, kind of give them the ropes and make sure they get a popcorn card. And then when I go up front, I try to honor the new people. Sometimes I have the new kids come down. Sometimes there's like 20 kids up there. And we give them a piece of candy. Chris usually does, our superhero. Right. And then I let them pick out the raffle tickets.
Right.
And sometimes they read them, sometimes I read them. And so it's that interaction and involvement. and it kind of goes with our honoring value, and we just want to honor them. And it's just wonderful. So we're meeting all these new people, and parents like it because their kids are being involved and interactive, and they're having a great experience. It's free, wonderful. So the whole goal is to try build relationship, and that they have such a fun time, they come back.
Right.
That's the whole goal. And once they come back, the next goal is that they invite somebody else.
Right.
And kind of that. The goal of getting to the church is a goal, but it's way down the road. It's when they're ready.
Sure.
And what I notice is about the third or fourth time that I'm meeting them, they're finally realizing this is a safe place.
Yeah.
We're good people. We're not weird. This is an incredible facility. And then what time are your church services?
Right.
And the ads help and different things, but so it's that process again. So it's just really beautiful to see. Yeah.
Okay, so the snapshot that we have right now, it's really well developed. The theater, you've got a nice facility, you've got theater seats, you've got a real popcorn machine, you've got the concession stand, all of that, which would seem a little bit intimidating to somebody starting out. Do they need all that? Just what do you need to start out?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you mentioned the popcorn machine because that's pretty vital.
Okay.
Because that not only gives you the smell when you come in, which is huge, but it gives you the taste. And what do people think of when they think of a movie theater? Popcorn.
Right.
And we got to I researched the recipe. It's actually pretty easy because I didn't want to have butter because if they wipe the butter on the seats, you know,
let's
kids
not
are
do that.
gonna ruin our seats. So I got this stuff. I researched it. It's kind of old school. It's called Flavico. I think Flaco. Flavico. So I don't know. It's a seasoned.
We'll put a picture of some right here.
Seasoned salt, and I've only seen it one store. It's a big kind of more of a store for businesses,
right?
You know, for food and stuff. But Flavico, and it's really easy. So it's popcorn, popcorn kernels, corn oil, and Flavico, and it makes this wonderful popcorn. And we just
and I'll tell you what, when I come in on a Friday night and I smell that popcorn going, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And we let's see, the fourth Sunday of the month we have popcorn up here with the kids.
Yeah.
And the whole place just smells like it smells like a movie theater. It smells so good.
We had Zach. He was up by the popcorn machine. He was going, oh, it smells so good. It smells so good. Give me more.
Yeah.
Zach's our
Zach is Zach.
Active
Zach Attack.
Yeah, Zach Attack.
Yeah.
But that's it. So it's a win-win. If you get a popcorn machine, you can utilize, and if you do a theater, then you can do it in your elementary kids.
Those popcorn machines are not that expensive.
Not too bad.
They're not that expensive. $200,
Well,
maybe $4.
Yeah. Or $1,000. You want to get a commercial.
Yeah, but we
grade.
had one in Mukilteo that was about the half size of yours.
Yeah.
And
probably what
It was $300-400, but it would produce a ton of popcorn. Certainly met our needs. So you don't have to buy the big commercial
small,
one.
Yeah.
You just have to. I mean, you do need the fresh popcorn smell.
Yeah,
it's part of the experience.
It is. Yeah. That's a theater you want, and I always wanted the look and feel and smell of a real theater.
Yeah.
So that's why I have some side lights, you know, because that's what I remember when I was a kid. There was these circular lights, and they dimmed down. I thought that was the coolest thing, you know. So I've tried to recapture that, and a bit nostalgic, but a lot of it's kind of how the local theater I went to as a kid. But you can really do it on a low scale. But yeah, I would say popcorn's essential to get that smell and taste. lower lighting, get some, party lights or something. And if you could fade them out, that would be good.
Yeah.
A screen, and it could be regular church seats, but if you can do some kind of stage platform so they can have a good view,
Yeah.
So that's what we did up in Marysville when I started out. It was pretty simple, and then it grew, and we were actually starting to make some income from the concessions, so that helped us.
Kind of be self-supporting.
Yeah, definitely self-supporting, and we actually probably average about, in income, probably $50 a week or more, just from the concessions. So, and that helps buy the Blu-rays and licensing and all that stuff. So
Now, one thing that I've noticed is that you have a high percentage of people in the theater who are not from the church. They really are from outside.
It's true.
And how are you getting the word out to them?
Yeah. Actually, it's probably about 80% community and 20% or less from our church.
From the church.
And the reason we reach the community is we have sandwich boards out on the street, and we keep those out all the time.
Right.
Say free movie theater, and I advertise what movie is there. And it's amazing. We're on a pretty busy street. It's amazing what the sandwich boards do. And then, so I have two right out in front of the church. And then the day before the movie, so on Thursday, I go out and put about 3 or 4 more up around the community. So the community knows our church as the church with the theater.
The theater.
And we're on Madison Street, so we call it the Madison Avenue Theater. And so sandwich boards are huge. Personal invitation. Like I say, not so much from our church kids, but from the community kids and stuff that come. They're like, this is the greatest thing ever, and they bring and tell their friends. So that's a big deal. But when we do a big event like the Family Fun Night, one of the greatest finds I've found in the last probably year is Facebook ads.
Facebook ads.
It's amazing, and they're cheap. I usually spend about $50.
You can target them.
Target the audience.
Because they're collecting all that information about you.
So I target women with children. I don't even care about the guys. They're like kind of clueless. The women with children are going to make the decision whether to come to this movie night or not, or this fun night, because they're always looking.
Yeah. Friday night and there's something free to do? Sure.
Yeah.
I'm in. Yeah.
So I do 22 for some reason, 22 to 50 years old, parents, women that are parents, and you can target what area, and so I kind of do a radius of about 15 miles, and it's amazing the amount of shares that we get.
Right.
They'll start sharing it, with others, so we're reaching thousands of people. And it actually, here's another beautiful thing about the theater. It brings in all generations, all races, all religions, all age groups, all, male, female, it doesn't matter.
Right.
It brings everybody. A movie, it's so wonderful because it speaks to everybody. So really breaks down the walls. So.
And it's just that first connection. It's that step number 2, like you said.
Yep.
And so at a minimum, really you need a space, some chairs, a projector, a screen, and some popcorn.
Yeah. Well, when we started our movie theater, it was in a room about this size, and this is a good sized room. Actually, it's smaller than this, but if you had a room that was 20, 30 feet wide by 30, 40 feet, that would be a perfect room for a theater. It's intimate. It keeps the popcorn smell there,
right?
And
the mess.
Yeah, the mess is something okay, here's the deal. I have people that help me, and my helpers have stayed with me for years. I got the best crew, and they'll
You really
they're-
do. You
they're here
really
like
do.
5 hours.
I've been so impressed by
Yeah.
your team. And there was a couple of times you've asked me to come and just open up stuff for you, and they knew what to do. They were right on it.
Yeah. I try to train them in every position because sometimes, you're sick, or we just had, a couple he got COVID and the wife couldn't come, and they were my key people. And we actually pulled off the theater the other day with 2 people.
Wow.
And Catherine and I, and it's just, and we had we had 125 people that night.
Wow.
So it was a big crowd, and we pulled it off.
Wow, that's-
And so I recruited people, hey, regulars, hey, can you go do the spotlight? Hey, can you go do the prizes? And people love it and engage, so it's really good.
There are churches that wish they had 125 people on Sunday morning.
Yeah. Well,
You know?
and lately we've been the last season of the theater we've really seen an influx, and I think it's because people are just ready to get back to normal. And
Yeah, absolutely.
theater was a big deal, because you're in clothes and stuff. So after COVID, and we moved back inside, we used to have a drive-in theater during COVID.
Oh, yeah.
And that was
In the
really,
parking lot.
we averaged a lot more people than we do in the theater. People were safe, and it was wonderful. But since we moved back in about a year ago, it was pretty light for the longest time. And about the last 2 months, we're just seeing this influx where we're starting to average more like 200 people
Wow.
an evening. And we had 500 at the family fun night. So, you got 200 people. That is like a church. I treat it like I'm the pastor and that's my church.
Yeah.
That's my congregation, and so I want to know my congregation. I want to reach them. I want them to have a good time. I want them to feel loved and appreciated and honored and give generosity. So we can do all the things that we would do in church, but just in a fun, natural way
Right.
to a non-Christian crowd, but it's actually doing something wonderful, spiritually in them. So it's pretty cool.
Well, this is the period of time, the part of the program where we talk about our sponsor, which is us, Kidmin Tackle Box Podcast, the podcast for children's leaders. And we're here. The purpose of Kidmin Tackle Box is to support children's leaders and children's pastors, children's directors, teachers. It's to give you a place to get some training, a place to help other people. We're on Facebook and we're on YouTube right now. We will be doing the regular podcast channels as soon as I get that figured out. All of this is to build a support system, build a team of like-minded individuals to help each other reach kids and disciple kids for the kingdom. And so you'll see a link on here to the Facebook group. It is a private group. You do have to ask to join, but we're going to let you in, so it's really easy. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and leave comments, and all that stuff. And this is all done. We're working on this to support you and to help you support others. And so there you go. That's the plug. I have one last question for you, John.
Yeah.
And that is, okay, we've talked about theater, and we talked about family fun nights, and we talked about dramas. What else and birthday parties. What else is there, especially that smaller churches can do?
Yeah. Well, first of all, why I like the theater so much is because it draws the whole family.
Right.
And I think that's really important in outreach, is to get the parents and the kids involved. In fact, one of my heroes is Walt Disney, and how he started Disneyland because he wanted the parents to interact with the children, having fun together, having a fun shared experience. So that's really my heart towards outreach, is to try to get the two together. But there's other ways, and birthday parties are, I think, a simple way to do that, where you just make it really special. decorate a room, make it real reasonable for the families, and just really special. And maybe a couple games or something like that. You don't have to have the costume characters and all that stuff, but you could. People have costumes. You could borrow them.
Oh, yeah.
And, rent them or whatever the case may be.
Somebody in your church is into drama,
Yeah.
or cosplay, or something like that.
And
you know?
that's what that's what a key is. Find people in your church that have a passion
Right.
for something or an experience. Something. It could be soccer players and have a soccer camp outreach, or basketball, and some basketball training. We did a thing where we gave free popsicles we drove around during COVID to all our kids, because we're a big church, and so we wanted to reach our kids who hadn't been coming. So we went to their home with popsicles. But you could do something with that, have some kind of party with
Right.
ice cream, or use food. Food is a huge thing. Hot dogs are cheap. They're fun to do. Do a barbecue of some sort. Go to a park, Just step out of the box and think, what are you good at? What is our church good at? What do we do or that we're passionate about, Maybe some it's worship, but maybe not do a worship night but do some secular songs and do kind of a fun 50s night, or something kind of fun. You could do some summer camps that you invite the community. VBS is a great one for that, actually.
VBS is, that's the old standby, isn't it?
Yep, it works.
And it does work, and because, hey, who doesn't want to have something where they can drop their kids off for a few hours and be able to go do their shopping or something, or during the summer, it just gives you another option.
Yeah.
The other thing, from my experience, we had at Mukilteo, we had a annual back to school blitz that we did with the kids, and it was a big carnival kind of a thing, and we had 20 or 30 booths, and we had every kid who came got a backpack, and at each booth they got school supplies and pencils and paper and everything. There were activities to do. There were hot dogs. There was food and popcorn, and we had people giving haircuts. Licensed people giving haircuts.
Again, that's what they're good at. That's what they do. Use your talents.
Right. So, and that ran for several years, and we would have 800 people come through.
Oh wow.
And we advertised that by going and taking flyers and putting them up on the bulletin boards at apartment complexes throughout the Snohomish County area.
So that didn't cost you anything, really?
No,
little
time and 5 cents a copy. And we got tons of people, tons of response on that.
Yeah.
Also, Halloween.
Yeah.
Creation celebration is what we used to call it. It's a family fun night.
Yeah, we did a trunk or treat the last
couple
years, mainly because of COVID. But
and the last one was
wonderful.
It was throughout the whole church. It was
we opened up we still had the trunk or treat part down in our garage, but because things were opening up more because of COVID, been gone, thankfully. Started opening up the church, used some of the inflatables and different things. What we had and food, I think we did hot dogs, and I had the theater open for people to come check it out.
Right.
It's good advertising for that, So, utilize whatever you're good at.
Yeah.
Whatever you have people passionate about. I would encourage you to get that group together, be praying, stepping out and go for it and advertise it and use Facebook, use sandwich boards, go make posters in different apartments. That's great. Invitations.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So
But the key to all of it is really having a good team, isn't it?
Good team. It is hard work. It's always hard work. But here's another thing: is I do this almost every Friday night. But after it's all said and done, I just say a prayer, and I'm out there, and I just thank the Lord for this venue, first of all.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like most churches are underutilized. You know, utilize your church, you know, for the community during the week. Most of us have a building, and find a way to utilize it. So I thank the Lord for this venue, because it really is quite incredible, the theater itself. And I thank Him for bringing people. I thank Him for the mess, you know.
Yeah.
I just thank Him for the opportunity to do this, and I really try to give the Lord the honor and the glory for it, because it can easily turn to, wow, look what I'm doing. You
Right.
know?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm so awesome.
Or, man, I'm
and
doing
that's
this
so
all
opposed
alone.
to the Lord. You know, He opposes the proud, and He gives grace to the humble. So I really try to walk through it humbly, gratefully. I'm thankful for the team He has brought together. It's so vital and important, and they do it with a good heart. And yeah, it's been a wonderful season.
You do really have a good team there.
Yeah.
I've really been impressed.
Yeah, I would say so too.
All right. Well, thank you, John. I really appreciate our time together. Thank you for
Yes.
sharing what you've shared. I hope this really helps you. I hope we've been an inspiration, and maybe not a theater, maybe it's something else you just happen to think of while we were talking. Whatever it is, figure out what the Lord wants you to do and go do it.
And one last thing, I most of this stuff, in fact, all of it, I believe came through prayer.
Yes.
And that's really an important thing, is to take time, because the Lord speaks in a small, still voice. It's a whisper, and you need to take time to hear what He's saying.
Yeah.
And He'll confirm it through the Word, through others as you dialogue and wise counsel and whatnot. But I really believe that's a key, is to hear what He wants
Absolutely.
to do, and when He wants to do it. There's a season to do things.
Right.
You don't have to go out and do all this now, and He'll do it in a process way, that's doable.
Right.
His yoke is easy, His burden is light. So if it's too much weight and you're trying to make something happen, it's probably not the Lord. It's probably you trying to look good,
Right. Yeah.
And that's a difference. You
There's
want
a
to
big
do what the
difference
Lord's telling you to do, and that's what probably the one thing I've really, strive to do, is hear the Lord and pray and obey.
Pray and obey.
Pray and obey. That's what I would say.
Yep.
Last
right.
encouragement: pray
and obey. All right. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, comment. Go join our Facebook group. You'll see a link here somewhere around here. And God bless you for everything that you're doing for the kids. And thank you for joining us here today. God bless.
God bless.